it comes to card making and when it comes to paper crafting and someone's talking about layering, what do you think? I asked my husband that this morning after breakfast. He had a wonderful explanation, and it shows that he's actually listening to me because he was talking about the card base, about a background layer you put on top of the card base, and you could use some dimensionals, which I thought was really great that he had all the words down. You could use dimensionals for the next layer to lift it up a little. It was great. What I'm talking about today, though, is ink. Yep, I want to layer ink. And I want to help show you some really fun and easy ways to layer ink as well so that you can have some fun with this technique. It's easy, it's fun, and it really shows that you can have some fun with it. Different colors, different stamps and things to use. That it just really is fun once you start to play, because that's what a lot of this is about, is mentally allowing yourself to let things go and play for a little bit as you were when you were a kid and you would play with your toys. These are your toys and you need to play with them. Have some fun. My name is Julia. I'm with Julia Sue's Stamping, where I'm passionate about stamping, coloring, paper crafting, making cards, and sharing the fun of how to do all of that with you. I'm from Northeast Ohio, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you see any of the things that I'm using today and you would like to make a purchase through my online store to help support my small business, thank you. I would really appreciate your support. If you already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator or someone else that you're using, that's fine too. That's absolutely fine. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to bring in the stamps really quick first. The first is the Season of Chic. I love this stamp set, and this is the one I'm going to use today. It's Photopolymer, so you can see where you're stamping. And then this one is the So Sincere. It is an online exclusive type of thing. Did you know that Stampin' Up! Has a lot of things that are online exclusives? Just like when you're shopping online normally, a lot of things are online only, and that's the way Stampin' Up! Is these days. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to bring in a sheet of grid paper because this is my pal, my good friend, Mr. Grid Paper or Miss Grid Paper, using grid paper all the time. And we have a piece of basic white cardstock that has been cut 8.5 by 5.5 and then scored at 4.25. These are American measurements, so they're all in inches. And I take a bone folder and score it, fold it rather, at the score line, nice and tight with that bone folder. So the first thing that I did to begin some layers, I wanted to keep a clean and simple card, but like I said, I wanted to do some layers. So I took the Deckled circle that I knew would fit pretty well with this stamp. I figured the stamp would go over it just a bit and that was going to be just fine with me. And I thought, well, I'll just fill it in with this stamp and that would look so cool, and then I'll layer some other things in there. So I cut it out. I cut another sheet of the cardstock so it would be the same size as the card base. So this is 4.25 by 5.5. And then I ran this through the middle, and it's not quite in the middle, but that's okay. I'm all right, because you know what? This is handmade, and it is not going to be perfect by a long shot. My cards are never perfect. Lay it down on there. So it's a little hard for you to see, but you're going to see where the circle is in a minute. Then I took a roll of washi tape. You can use painter's tape or washi tape or some kind of tape that's easy to remove. I laid this down and secured it with the washi tape. So this is my mask, so to speak, that I've got on the top. And I've got something under there. Here we go. Very good. All right, so you can see it's nicely secured. If you had a glass mat, you could use that. I don't have a glass mat, so I'm sticking with my grid paper. and I'm using the pecan pie. Open up the ink, and as I had said before, the stamp from the Season of Chic stamp set, inking it up. Now I'm going to just stamp it off a couple of times because I don't want it quite as dark. Get it in there, and it didn't go all the way around, did it? That's okay. Like I said, it's not going to be perfect. Did it again. And we'll just, apparently this side over here is working better. So we will just get that on there. And I'm layering the ink on there. You can see where it's going through though, and it does show up a little bit here on the edge. So I'm okay with that. This is different. And then I'm going to bring in one of my favorite tools ever, is the blending brush. I'm going to get it into the ink a little bit, and then I'm going to get some of the ink off, and I'm going to go in and make it a nice light brown with this pecan pie where the edges are for this mask. You know, when I did this practicing, of course, the stamp went all the way across absolutely perfectly. And then, you know, you do a video, you do a live, and it doesn't work the same way, but that's okay. That's okay, I don't mind. All right, so you can see already I've got two different shades of the brown going on. We've got a really light shade that I put on with the brush, a darker one that was used with the stamp. But here is my favorite. I'm going to bring in one of the masks from the 4 square decorative masks. It has 4 different super cool masks that you can use. And this is the one I'm using for here. And I'm just kind of lining it up with the card underneath so that's even. You can use additional washi tape if you wanted to hold it in place. I don't think it's going to be here long enough for me to worry about, so I'm just going to ink it up with the brush and get some of these colors on, which I think would look really great. All right, lifting that mask up. And I have ended up layering 3 different ways to do one color of ink on a card. So I'm going to take this off using lifting up the washi tape, and it's great because I can use this washi tape over and over again. And there is the card. I'm taking the washi tape off and setting it aside so I can use it again. As well, I have the supplies out. I usually end up making more than one card. Because you have it out, why not? Okay, so again, I have what I would call a clean and simple card here, a case card. And I want to make it just look a little bit fancier and put a sentiment on. I punched out of Cherry Cobbler using my awesome bee builder punch. And this heart here, I punched out this super cute heart, and then I ran it through the embossing, using an embossing folder from the stripes and splatters. So it's got these cool splatter looking things on there. It's so awesome. I love these embossing folders. And I ran it through my cutting and embossing machine. And can you see that heart? It's got all sorts of cool looking pattern on it. All right, I'm gonna lay that heart right there next to there. And I'm going to get out a little bit of some glue because it's kind of smallish, and using a different type of tape adhesive might not work quite as well on this. Just put a tiny bit on there, lay it down. Okay, and then I did, from also the Bee Builder Punch, I have this little out of crushed curry heart that I thought would just go so nicely with this. And I am going to lift this little guy up using a dimensional. So I don't have any little mini ones right here. And I'm going to cut just a little piece of one from my pack. So I make my own little mini dimensional, put it onto the back of my little yellowish crushed curry heart. And now the backing, setting the heart down. Oh, I like that. That looks so pretty. The next thing is the sentiment. And this is from the So Sincere. It's the one that is just love spending time with you. You could choose a different color of ink, maybe the cherry cobbler if you wanted at this point, or something else to be really cool with that. But I'm going to go ahead and use the pecan pie. That's it. How cool is that? Layering inks, a really fun way to just make it look super fancy, and it's not. People would get this and just be like, what? Oh my gosh, this is so cool. And my husband's always running his fingers over stuff going, how'd you do that? So, all right. So I'm gonna take this mask right here, ink it up just a little and get some of the ink off. And just gonna kind of randomly do a little bit here on the corner. And you could also do this on your envelope. There you go. That works. So decorating the inside as well as the outside. How fun. So clean and simple, layering with inks. Again, I want to be sure and say thank you so much for joining me here today. I've got another one that I did this in a landscape, the exact same thing but in a landscape, and then you have it in a portrait. So you can see how easy it is to get that style, and you see how well it went all the way across before, but not today, and that's okay. It still looks really cool and still looks really pretty. It's handmade. They're going to be different, and that's okay. So I want to be sure and say thank you again for joining me. If you would, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and you help grow my small business. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me out a lot. So thank you so much for your help, your support, and your time. I hope you have a wonderful day and that you have an opportunity to get inky today.